We're going to have our invocation this morning by our very own minister.
Let us all stand, please. Father, we bless you and thank you for this opportunity to make a difference in the lives of your people. We thank you as we come together today. We seek your wisdom, your guidance, your mind. We seek your direction, your purpose, and your destiny for this great city. We thank you, Lord, as we go forth, we open ourselves up to unity and oneness of heart, mind, and spirit. That we'll come together as a team, as a cohesive unit to move forward and work together in strength and synergy. So, Father, I ask that you bless this meeting, bless this time together. Thank you for the people that have come out to be a part of this great meeting. And we give you all the glory and honor for it. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Will you pledge allegiance, please? All right. Pledge allegiance. Entertain a motion to end executive session.
Mr. Mayor, I offer a motion that we are in executive session and come to our council.
So move to second. All in favor? All opposed? All right. We're going to move to the approval of the meeting agenda.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion that we approve the meeting agenda for May 8th, 2017.
All right, is there a second?
I second it.
I'm going to have a discussion.
Questions?
Any question? Yes, Councilman Trump.
Let's see this here. Yeah, meetings of May 8th.
The meeting, we're
Oh,
not.
excuse me. It's rule number 5. The actual approval of the meeting agenda. And since we're arguing questions, in the corner of order, there is one thing I do want to enhance. Give me 1 second. On the new business, consideration to approve interim tenant representation. So what we're on now is approval of the meeting agenda. That's what we're on right now. So we're in the question part of that. Very good. We can probably move in a second and that was my change. Anybody else have a change regardless? All right. Seeing none, all in favor? All opposed? Excellent. Now we will move to the review and approval of the minutes of May 8th, City Council. Madam Clerk, we got a question for you, please. Got a question for you.
I'm advised, I agree with you, but I said I'll do it.
Councilman George. So, for the, it's on the, oh, okay. I'll take a motion from the board.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the meeting.
There a second?
Second.
All right, now we move to questions.
That's one correction on the spelling of say Cofield.
Oh, that might be it. Okay, are there any other questions that have on their comment? All right. Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in in favor? All opposed? Motion passes. We're going to move to our public comment section for today.
First person is Charlotte. That's me.
Yes. Hi, good morning, council and mayor. I just wanted to advise that myself and Mary here, we've been working on a wonderful plan for a festival to showcase the city of Stonecrest called the Stonecrest Fest. And we want to have honorary personnel from the staff to be part of the festival. We welcome them to be part of it. And it's going to be nature-tainment, entertainment. It's going to feature one of the only 2 national heritage areas in the state of Georgia, Davidson Arabian Mountain. We want to involve the community, the businesses, everyone. And my company is Charlotte's Bucket Associates. I've been doing festivals and entertainment for many years, mostly the Sweet Auburn festivals and Black History Month parades and a lot of things in Atlanta. And I'm very excited about having the opportunity to create something wonderful right here in the city of Stonecrest that is a great attraction that brings everyone to the city of Stonecrest and highlights some of our best features. So just want to put that out there. And my phone number, if anyone wants to contact me that's interested, can I say that? My phone number? 770-322-7020. If you want to be involved in helping to showcase our city, I welcome any volunteers that want to help out. And also, you all will be getting emails with more details.
Next is Harold Smith.
First of all, I'd like to congratulate the current electors for their election and the attainment of the office that you hold. We look forward to working with you. I'm a citizen, of course, in District 4, the Hunters Community Homeowners Association. I'm the current Political Awareness Committee Chair. Also a member of the Fund Oversight Committee, the immediate past chairperson of that committee associated with Field County. And also, we look forward to working with you guys and when we can to make the city of Stonecrest the greatest city can, the state, and the nation. And, we can come by and make it good. So, congratulations.
Hello, I have 3 points. My name is Tawana Morgan. I'm in District 4, and I am a resident. It asks these questions. I am a resident and a small business owner here at Stonecrest. The first is if the council could consider scheduling the executive sessions and building them into the agendas. I think that I've been to a couple of Board of Education meetings in DeKalb, and they have bifurcated meetings, so perhaps that could be an example, just a way to try to make this more efficient for the public to know when to come. The second point is if the minutes could be printed and available so that when it's being voted on as far as the review and the vote for them, we can know what it is that you're looking at, particularly if for whatever reason we weren't able to attend the meeting because they are during the day, attend the meeting previously. So that's the second thing that I would like to propose. Or even if there's a set place that they're published, if you don't want to just print them. And the third point that I would like to propose to the council is that the meetings are advertised and you let us know where will the meetings be advertised, not only for the council, but perhaps even for the district, because even this meeting today, it was just, I kind of happened to hear about it, and to be honest, I think it wasn't even my district person put something, my representative, but I saw something on Nextdoor, and then the times varied, and so I know that has just been confusion on the public's end as far as, how to be involved as best as we can be. And so perhaps having a specific medium, if you will, for where we know to go to know when meetings are occurring and what's going on. Thank you for your time.
Next is Renee Farr.
Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to, basically, Tawana said, she made the same comments I was concerned about. The times of the meetings are early and people are at work. I don't know if you all can do something else about the time. And then your executive session, please, if you can rearrange it, don't have a sitting way here because a lot of us have to go to work. Thank you.
That's it.
Any others?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We will now move to new business. Item 8, consideration to approve interim representation regarding City Hall space. I will entertain a motion from council for the selection of T. Dallas Smith and Company. T. Dallas Smith and Company.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to offer a motion for consideration to approve tenant representation regarding City Hall space in the interim for the company of T. Dallas Smith.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. I will call the question. All right. All in favor? All opposed? T. Dallas Smith and Company will be our tenant representation for City Hall space. Item B, consideration to approve third-party contractor. I will take a motion from the floor to name our third-party contractor.
I make a motion that we approve our third-party contractor. I make a motion that we approve our third-party contractor to be CH2.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. I'll call for questions.
Go ahead.
My question would be, is this an interim or is this
This is fine.
all right.
Just want to add from the floor that the council and the mayor has the authority to integrate in any staff they desire.
So moved. All right. All in favor of CH2 turning on third-party contract, show your sign hand. All opposed? CH2 is our third-party contract. Item C, consideration for approval to purchase equipment for mayor and council. I'll entertain a motion from the floor to do so, and then we'll go, any questions, we'll talk about specifics.
All right, with that being the case, Mayor, I'd like to offer a motion that we consider for consideration of approval of purchase of equipment for mayor and council.
Is there a second?
I second.
Question.
And then we have questions.
All right. Now. So you go
All right, so
ahead.
you want to start in a row, or?
Yes.
Okay, so my question simply would be, specifically, what is the equipment, and are we negotiating terms, are we identifying vendors?
Thanks for the question. This is the answer that I have today for this. Since now we actually have a third-party contract with regards to help with some of this situation. Is that what's happening?
That's that, microphone.
Okay. Yeah. So part of the equipment that we need is microphone system. So Since now we have selected a third party provider for us, we can come from this standpoint and talk about what our needs are and present those to our third party provider so we can have funding to be able to do so. What our immediate needs are, we need a microphone system. I mean, you guys can hear me because I talk loud, but we need something specific with regards to being able to handle all this. Second, we need to decide, and I'll yield to council on this. I am the least technical person here. If there were rotary phones, that would still be okay. But I will take whatever suggestion from council. We have laptops. We specifically need cell phones. We have to have city cell phones. That has to happen. But the other type of devices, I'm open for whatever the decision is.
My question is this, when we get our equipment, will they be bids, companies coming in bidding to supply that equipment for us, or will they be coming to the third party vendor? What kind of,
Actually both. So we'll take best in class from, suggestions with regards to our third party vendor, and then we'll know we're getting the best price and best cost.
Mr. Mayor, you
Yes, sir.
consider we just approve a third-party vendor, might need us to interview them in terms of what it is that they provide, is that the urgency at this time? Because as a third-party vendor, I suspect a lot of what we're looking for may well be provided by them.
Okay. That's why the motion's on the floor.
I guess the question I had is referring to the purchase part of this consideration. Has a third vendor party required that we give them permission, which is why we're voting on approval? Or are we approving what to be purchased? So I guess my question is, are we approving the purchase itself, or are we approving what is to be purchased? Since we now have selected a third party vendor.
Great question. My perception of this is that we approved this motion to give them permission to start the process with regards to what type of equipment that they want.
Okay. And so my only follow-up question to that is, will that purchase be included in our third-party service vendor fee? Or is this a separate fee from the third-party service vendor?
You have to ask to provide that question. But I think as to where we sit today, and Mr. City Attorney will correct me on this, is that we're giving authorization to start this with regards to that process.
Because
It's correct.
what will occur now that you've selected the vendor is that there's still the process of negotiating the agreement with the vendor as to what's provided, what's not provided, and all the terms. So there will be a contract between the city and the third-party vendor, which we will now start to prepare the draft. Now that this has been done, and part of these issues about purchasing, we will also be developing a purchasing policy for you to review. And to adopt, normally that's maybe 6 months out, whatever, as we go through the ones as we prioritize what has to happen. So right now, the vendor will be the ones that will give them the direction, say this is what we need. Please, say bid it out, find the best price, whatever that you need to do.
Okay, then we have two choices, Mr. Attorney. We can withdraw this item from consideration, or we can put a little bit more meat on the bone. And what I mean by that specifically is that while we ain't questioning before I make a new motion, I ask for a new motion, that we had a budget with regards to the beauty example. And we approve a budget for $1,000, no more than $1,000 for a microphone system, something that we need.
What I would suggest is first of all, since we're talking about equipment that will be used not only by the city, but some of which may be used by you, if it's computers and things like that, then the preference would be that you vote on that publicly in order to do that. Right now, you're authorizing the vendor to go ahead and do that, but the vendor needs to come back to you once you've decided what it is that you want to approve for purchase.
I have a question. Excuse me. I have a question in reference to the charter. The charter says that we have about a certain amount of money for expenses. Does that include this equipment, or is that outside of that?
That's outside of that, because this is capital expenditure.
Okay.
That is our own expensing for us.
So what my suggestion would be is that we remove this from the agenda today. Move it to a work session, the next available work session, where we can then add a need to the motion, so that we can consider not only a general cost or general number of items, but more specific terms, and as well as to define our relationship with the vendor. So at this point in time, that's my suggestion.
Okay. All right.
Councilwoman Collins, since it was your motion, you agree? No? Jimmy, or was your motion? Okay. Why don't you withdraw your motion?
Since the chair, I would like to withdraw my motion.
All right, so noted, that motion has been withdrawn. Item, we'll move to the next item. All right. Okay, consideration and approval of public officials' insurance and authorization to execute the necessary documents. I will entertain a motion for that to happen with us.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we do consideration of approval of public official insurance and authorization to execute the necessary documents.
I second that, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, that has been motion and properly second. Discussion. Any questions? Sorry.
Mr. Mayor, this would be errors and omissions insurance. We're not speaking about health
That's
insurance.
right. Very good point, Council. Very good point.
Errors in mission and also general liability.
Mr. Attorney, do we need to specify that?
Well,
Okay.
yes, it needs to be both because, one, that you're driving vehicles on city business, so the city needs to be insured for those types of things. We are holding meetings where people might get injured, so we need that insurance. And if you haven't been contacted already, somebody from Burma,
Yes, contact me. This one
should be contacting you. And there's also another party who did this for Sandy Springs, and they were actually provided the premium finance until you were able to get the revenue to pay for it. So,
Does the motion need to be amended specifically with that? Or
just the motion.
Excellent. The properly motion and the second. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes. Section E, ordinance to amend the regular city council meeting schedule for calendar 2017. Councilman Turner, I don't know that you read this, but it had there was a calendar issue that we talked about. But let me put it in motion first. I'll take a motion from the floor.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that the ordinance to amend the regular city council meeting schedule for calendar year 27 be considered. 2017, I'm sorry.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, other questions?
Basically, the explanation wasn't a question, and to the point that one of the members of the audience brought up is that our calendar needs to be set for the entire year. And the general statement was that it would be on the first and third Mondays. And it didn't take into account of all the holidays that occur on Mondays. So there are going to have to be some adjustments made there. And it really didn't specify in that exactly what time the meetings would occur. So we're just suggesting that we put more specificity in the calendar so that they will show date and time for the regular meetings and the adjusted meetings and even the work session, if that is desired by council. And we can publish that, and we'll only have to be really concerned about adjustments that might occur as the year goes on.
So there are some conflicting holiday dates.
So,
Okay, good deal. Mr. Turner, how do we handle this situation with regards to, do we republish it?
Well, you said the first and third Mondays of the month. It also provided in the ordinance that should it fall on a holiday or after, then it can be adjusted. Either don't hold the meeting or you reset the meeting, is what you would do.
Okay.
What would I think would be more meaningful based upon what Councilman Turner said is that talk about times of meetings. And the place of the meeting, which is here right now, will change obviously during the year. But if we were able to put a time and place and then change that, then it would be, as far as the public's concerned, then they would know when the meetings were. So, you know, you're doing Monday mornings now, if you want to do Monday at 10, or if you want to do Monday evening, you need to decide that. I don't think you were wanting to change the days, is that for Mondays?
Let me, if I can add one other thing. And that is that I've had to respond to constituents about this matter, and I said that one of the reasons we chose the time and date that we did was because of the location. Because the library is not as flexible as we had desired. So perhaps once we get an address, that may well be changed again. But until that is done, then we'll have to go with it as if this is going to be it for the rest of the year.
So 10 a.m. on the first and third Mondays of each month at the Stonecrest Library. Until we will amend it again once you.
So it sounds as though, Mr. Turner, we're good on the ordinance as it is today.
Well, we're going to add times.
All at that time.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Right, then, and if you want to schedule work sessions, you can certainly do that. If you want to hold a work session on the Wednesday before each meeting, or
Exactly.
then you may want to discuss that in the work session, your next work session.
Got it.
That's what you want to do.
Councilman?
Yeah. Also, I think we need to have further discussion based on some of the constituents' concerns. I think we need to have a conversation about the times of these meetings, or either alternate the meetings, so that in the spirit of transparency and accountability, let the public have the opportunity, those who work, to be able to attend meetings. I'm not quite sure how we need to do that. But I think
Well,
we
with
need
the
to-
library, what time does it close at night?
8 o'clock.
And so there's no holding over.
Yeah.
At all.
We're constricted.
So you're constricted, so if you wanted to hold the meetings from 6 to 8, knowing you'd have to adjourn at 8, regardless of where you were. You'd have to deal with that. And then as you presumably, hopefully, you'll be in your new place before you start dealing with public hearings and the zoning matters, which can go forever. So you can, you do have that restriction. But if you want,
Can we, I mean, this is not an ordinance related suggestion, but can we just publish a calendar that just adjusts the Mondays that are holidays and not get into time or place? Just adjust the Mondays that are on holidays so that at least there is a date for everyone to refer to as to when the meetings are, so that those days are not confusing. And then when we get into work session, we can talk about changing the times contingent upon us getting home quickly. But for now, I think the public just wants to have the rest of the year laid out for them and adjust those Mondays so they know which ones are going to be Tuesdays or Wednesdays, and they can plan the rest of the year that way.
well, we would be glad to put that calendar together for you. If Monday is the holiday, you want to use the following Tuesday. We don't know where Christmas falls. If it falls on a Tuesday, nobody will want to meet on Monday, but we'll take a shot at it. How about that?
Yeah, I agree with Councilman Parker says. I think we should absolutely publish what we have. I don't think we need to change the ordinance at this point in time. We can talk about in work section, how to adjust the time as well. I don't think we need to add a time to the calendar, and that's now, because we can make those adjustments as we go. As far as we know, we can actually get a new facility as early as next week. And if that's the case, then we need to have the leeway to make changes as necessary. So for that reason, I think that we should leave it as is because it addresses all those problems already. And we just need to publish what we do have.
Excellent. Then with that said, we'll make the motion as to withdraw.
I would enjoy that motion if it's there.
So noted.
What just happened, Mr. Mayor?
So you withdrew that item, and you withdrew the motion.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Item F, ordinance establishing committees, and these are council committees. I know the specifics on these, so I will entertain a motion from the floor.
Mr. Mayor, I would like to offer the motion that we submit an ordinance to establishing council committees.
Is there a second?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Question?
Question. I want to make a motion to amend that all of these committees and all of these appointments conform to section 3.01 as outlined in our Summerfest charter. That's section 3.01, number 1134 and 1135. I'd like for all of these committees to conform to that section in the charter.
Which would require 2 council members. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
Shall I read it or do you want to?
Well, no, I'm just saying, right now, you were doing, if you want to conform that, and yes, Mr. Donovan, you're very sharp in picking up on that, because the committees in the charter would require 2 council members to serve on each committee. For this, I think it's contemplated to create district committees, advisory committees for each of the districts, which was the spirit in which this was drafted.
Let me make sure we get some clarity. So, where we are today, where this ordinance is establishing committees, these were for the council committees, correct?
That's right.
But as far as the interpretation of the charter, as a councilwoman O'Donnell has,
She's correct.
right,
Is what it is, and that was one of the dilemmas that we were having in drafting this particular ordinance.
okay?
Because it did require that there be 2 council members each committee, which is fine if that's what you wish to do in each district. But what we were attempting was, because we don't need an ordinance to do what the charter says. We needed an ordinance in order to create this advisory committee by district, where each person, if you wanted to have an ad hoc committee for your district, then you pull that together and you do that.
Actually, I do think, Mr. Mayor, if I may, that we're actually talking about 3 different things. We're talking about the charter committees, which, as you pointed out, we do not have to offer an ordinance to correct that or to establish that. And we're also talking about a separate set of committees that has nothing to do with the charter per se. You're talking about a finance committee, you're talking about I think it's parks and
Probably got planning is only,
right.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then in addition to that, we also had mentioned at one point in time where we set up district committees where members of the districts, where we set up committees for advisories throughout the district. And what we wanted to do was make certain that the people who volunteered for these various committees knew that these committees were sanctioned by the local government. So we're actually talking about 3 different committees, and I think the one that's on the table now is actually the one that's in the middle. It's the one that has nothing to do with the charter, and it's not the one that has to do with the districts. This is a separate.
My recommendation would be that based upon these advisory committees and treating the charter committees and appoint 2 council persons to those committees.
say that again, Mr. Chairman.
Well, these committees would really, in my opinion, be more of a charter committee. I mean, I'm looking at finance, and that, and then instead of appointing, having one council person over that committee, you would have two appointments of council people for each committee.
May I make a motion that we defer this for further discussion?
Yeah, I think that's an excellent motion. And I'd like to,
At a work session.
and unfortunately, I wasn't able to do the last work session, so I'll give you my thoughts on that.
So can I ask one last question before we do that, Mr. Mike? In regards to the charter commission, when the appointments are made, are those appointments to be made as chair or co-chair, or will it be co-chairs, or what would you recommend?
You would decide that.
Okay, that makes sense.
All right, subject to your approval. Very good.
Okay.
Good catch.
Suppose I have a short memory, so who made that?
I did.
Not second.
Do I need to say it again?
No, you're fine. You were wrong in the motion. Everything's fine.
What is the status of the motion to amend? What is the status of the motion to amend?
Well, in this situation, she wishes to withdraw the motion. Would you agree with that? Well, I'm talking about this.
You're asking me if I
Yes.
agree with the motion to withdraw
To withdraw.
and to take it into work session?
In other words, bring it back for consideration.
Yes, we can take it into work session.
So move. Item G.
I gotta vote on it.
All right, I'll take the motion for removal.
You what? On item G.
We need a second.
Oh,
You need to say.
hold it.
You took the motion's been withdrawn. Or we don't know.
No, we have a motion to withdraw. Yeah, it's been withdrawn. Yeah, so we have to withdraw the motion. All right. Item G, ordinance establishing the position of clerk of the municipal court of the city of Stonecrest.
This is not a position that is in the charter. And you have sent, there's an RFP out there for this position for the clerk of the municipal court. And so what this ordinance does is establish that position.
By which we have to have in court system, right? By which we have to have for the court system.
Well, you need to have a clerk. I mean, you have a city clerk, okay? And there are times when the city clerk actually serves both functions, okay? However, with the size of this city, that's not something that you have to.
All right, okay, motion from the floor.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that the ordinance establish the position of clerk of the municipal court of the city of Stonecrest be accepted.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Call the question. Seeing none, all in favor? All opposed? Motion passes. Item H, ordinance clarifying the intent of the zoning moratorium in regards to alcohol license.
Mr. Mayor and Council, as soon as the moratorium went in place, there became a very strict interpretation by DeKalb County with respect to licenses for alcohol, which are limited. And the purpose of this ordinance is to make it clear that any business that already has an alcohol license who otherwise complies with the code can renew that license. And also, to the extent that there was any application for an alcohol license that had been made to DeKalb County prior to May 8th, 2017, that application can continue in due course. And the county would administer that application until such time we're in a position to take that over.
in addition to that, Mr. City Attorney, is that, and council, people will be denied their licenses and sent our way with the ordinance with my signature on it. So this is something that we need to handle ASAP.
And that was right after the meeting that you attended with the county attorney saying that we wanted to be very congenial in how we manage this thing.
Yes. So, I'll take a motion from the floor.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the ordinance clarifying the intent of the zoning moratorium in regards to alcohol license be approved.
The second.
I second it.
The motion is second. All in, excuse me, question? Seeing none? All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes. Resolution of appointments. Item 1, city attorney and assistant city attorney. I will take a motion from the floor to appoint the individual firms that we had discussion on in the workshop.
I make a motion that the city of Stonecrest appoint as city attorney and assistant city attorney the firm of Coleman Tower Law Firm and Fincher Denmark.
Do I have a second?
I second the motion.
So moved and second. Question?
Question. You said Coleman Talley and what was the second one?
Fincher.
Okay, so Coleman Talley would be the city attorney and Vincent Denmark then would be the city assistant attorney. Is that correct?
Excuse me, we can't hear back here, the last.
I'm sorry, my apologies. Basically what I just said, yeah, for your sake, I will repeat it. What I was asking was that, is the city attorney then would be Coleman Talley and the assistant attorney would be Venture Denmark. Just want to make that clear. You're welcome.
No question? All right, seeing none. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes. Item number 2 on the I, acting city manager. I will take a motion from the floor with regards to appointing an acting city manager, Michael Harris.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move that we appoint Mr. Michael Harris as acting city manager.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Been moved and second. Questions? Seeing none. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes. Item number 3 on the I, acting city clerk for Ms. Brenda James. I'll take a motion from the floor.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that our acting city clerk will be Ms. Brenda James.
All right. So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Proper motion and a second. More questions? Seeing none. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes. Congratulations, Mr. Michael Harris and Ms. Brenda James. All right, we will start comments. Our comment section. If you so desire, you can go to the microphone so the folks can hear it, or you can sit here at the table and have a loud mouth like that. So we'll start with Councilman Cowell. Councilman Georgetown.
Just to let you know that Brownsville Recreation Center on the 27th of this month will have a closeout of the baseball season. So you're invited out to that. And the Regular Mountain National Heritage Area is having an open house at the Baldwin's Farm, the headquarters, on tomorrow, 17th. Anybody have a roll? Or the 16th? At 1 p.m.
Okay, tomorrow, District 5 will be hosting their very first town hall meeting right here at the library from 6 to 7:30. Also, I'm pleased to inform you that we want every resident in District 5 to have the opportunity to be a homeowner. And so I'm so pleased to announce to you that I wrote a letter of recommendation and partnered with the Alliance of DeKalb County, and all 7 DeKalb County Board of Commissioners have voted recently to award them $500,000 grant. And the mission of this grant would be to create some home ownership opportunities and to be able to take blighted properties and make them beautiful. Second, we are launching our first youth intervention program called Town and Gowns. It will be it'll be at Selma Canova Library on June 1st. Lots of questions have come up about whether this is just for District 5 or Arabia Mountain, and the answer to that is absolutely not. Any child in the city or even outside the city can participate in that intervention program. What was the time? That's the one.
Change the time.
Oh.
And you need another time, right?
Oh, the times for the youth intervention program. It is a boot camp workshop on June 1st from 9 to 3. So it's all day long, and we have right now 43 students. If you have questions, you can contact Deborah Young. Her number is 404-966-1999, and Deborah will be enrolling or assisting any parent or any child who wants to be a part of that program. The purpose of it is to create scholarship dollars for well-deserved students, not just those who are maybe considered disadvantaged, but any single student can participate in the program. All of the resources, including the labor from Sage Group America consulting firm, have been donated in the amount of $50,000+, and they will be flying out to Atlanta to partner locally with any of our schools who are interested.
Excellent, excellent.
For the residents of District 2, my first Town Hall Listen and Learn will be on June 1st from 6 to 8 at the Lou Walker Senior Center. I look forward to seeing you there. So you can talk to me, I can talk to you, we can talk about how we're going to make our district and our city great and develop that new culture that I ran on. Thank you.
Madam, no comment. All right, I'll close up as
some of you have a lot of programs that you are making announcements for, and I just need a funnel between you and the website guy so that we can disseminate that information in one place so that everybody can see it as well.
you need what, sir?
A funnel or connection between you and the website guy. Communication. Phone call, text, email.
I have it as a public, so we're going on common ground. We're getting that.
But, okay, thank you.
Work protocol just a little bit, we'll accept that at this particular time. Folks, here's where we are, and I've heard this comment a couple of times. This is in my section here, the mayor's comment. First of all, thank each of you all for your patience. There's some things that we are working at a disadvantage of. And the disadvantage that we're working is this is not our home. We cannot schedule things that are here. If there's another schedule, something is already here. So we're working at the mercy of 2 or 3 things. One is that this is a public library and the meeting space has already been taken up in a lot of instances. 2, I'm trying to accommodate also, we have council persons that work a full-time job. So there's a balance between what has to happen in the morning and what has to happen in the evening at the same time. 3, the folks that you see here that are working, that have been participating in all the things that we've been doing for some years now, they've been working for free. It's volunteer work, hard energy on their part. I just said that to say, and 4, if you look on your agenda, where the executive session here at the end, I start things on time, folks. When I say 10 o'clock, it's 10 o'clock. So if you get here at 10:07, we're already moving. And I had to move the schedule with regards to the executive session up front, because there's things that you all don't know that we have to handle before we can actually come out and handle our business here as city council and mayor. So that is a rarity. It does not happen that often, but in this instance, this had to happen today to be able to move our business forward. So as you see some of the simple things that we're trying to get done here, as in like, let's buy a microphone system so that you all can actually hear us. The equipment that we specifically need, there's just small things that has to happen with regards to being able to get your city off the ground. That's why I want to thank each and every one of you for your patience, because we are going to get there, and we are going to get there fast. But there's a certain process that we have to follow with regards to this municipality, as any other municipality, to make sure monies are approved, make sure ordinances are done properly, and to be able to move our business and city forward from there. So in the future, what will happen is this. You will have evening city council meetings. The reason that you have a morning city council meeting now and an evening workshop meeting is that the facilities are not available for evening city council meetings. So we had to pick an alternate with regards to what was best that fits the citizens, the council persons that are working full-time. Because, I mean, this is what I do. I am full-time, so I try to accommodate all of those things that happen. Point number 2, and I think this young lady brought this up, really good point of the day. We're going to pick a legal order, and we're going to pick it quick. Because, so that you all will know exactly times, places, changes, because we are advertising with regards to the meetings. We meet that legal process, but if you don't know where to look for that, it's not good for the citizens, and it's not good for us. So you need to have one source that you can go and look at and find out exactly what time meetings are, when they change, or what's going to be the subject with regards to those meetings. And lastly, she just stepped in the room, and I want to give a public thank you for our head librarian here. She's the one that allowed us to be here. And the facility director here also. So if it were not for these things, we would be meeting outside in a parking lot. And that would not be good at all. So again, citizens, business persons, vendors, council folks, city attorney, and assistant city attorney, thank you for your patience. We're going to get there. We're going to get there fast. A lot happened today. A lot of big things happened today, so that we can accommodate the business that we have at hand, which is, filming our sessions, being able to make sure we're handling things legally from an ordinance standpoint, our city clerk. A lot happened today. A lot of big things happened with regards to that format. I will accept the motion for adjournment.
I move to adjourn.
Okay. Have a good morning.
No.